Hello and welcome back to Money Never Sleeps. My name is Bob Cruces from M&A Wealth. If you'd like more information about what you hear during the show, give us a call at 8669-733627 or visit us online at mandawealth.com. And while at my website, click on the page to check out past shows and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Today I want to talk about something that's hitting closer to home for a lot of people right now than they expected. What do you do if you get laid off when retirement is just a few years away? Throughout the episode, we'll be discussing, highlighting, and referring to a recent U.S. News and World Report article titled 9 Steps to Take If You're Laid Off Within 5 Years of Retirement. A layoff close to retirement is a gut punch, and it's happening to more people than you might think. Tens of thousands of job cuts were announced just in March of this year alone, with the technology sector taking an especially hard hit as AI reshapes entire roles. If you're in that situation or know someone who is, you are far from alone. Today I'm walking through 9 practical steps that could help someone find their footing again. Step 1 is almost too simple. Pump the brakes on spending. Before you do anything else, just slow down financially. Don't make any big purchases. Don't renovate the kitchen. Don't book the trip you've been putting off. Just pause. Every dollar you conserve right now is buying you time and options, and in this situation, time and options are exactly what you need most. Step 2 is to run the numbers. Sit down and really understand where you stand. What are your monthly expenses? What does your savings look like? How long could you go without a paycheck before things get genuinely difficult? And factor in something a lot of people don't think about until it hits them: health insurance. When you lose a job, you lose your employer's contribution to your coverage. We're talking about potentially hundreds of dollars a month that weren't in your budget before. It can throw off a plan that looked perfectly solid on paper. After a layoff like this, you may want to consider contacting a financial services professional. They can look at your full picture objectively and help you understand what you have, what you need, and how long the runway actually is. They can also help you figure out what decisions need to happen right now versus what can wait, because not everything is urgent even when it feels that way. Step 3 is to consider your income options, and this is where some of the most consequential decisions live. If you're at least 59 and a half, you can draw from retirement accounts like a 401k or IRA without penalty. Younger than that, most withdrawals carry a 10% early withdrawal penalty on top of regular income taxes. That's a meaningful hit worth avoiding if there's any reasonable alternative. There are a couple of exceptions. If you're at least 55 at the time of the layoff, you may be able to pull from the 401k at that most recent employer without the penalty. There's also something called SEPP, substantially equal periodic payments, which allows early access at any age, but once you start those payments, you're locked in. It requires careful planning, and you may want to consider professional guidance. The principle here is reversibility. Look first at flexible sources like home equity or general savings before tapping accounts that lock you into something you didn't fully plan for. Step 4 is to make a real decision about what comes next. Are you going back to work, or is this actually early retirement? Once you've run the numbers, you might find you have more flexibility than you thought, or you might find you genuinely need more income. Either way, it's better to know than to assume. And if you go back to work, it doesn't have to look like what you were doing before. Fractional work has become much more common, where experienced professionals do senior-level work on a contract basis without the full-time commitment. Some people also find real satisfaction in part-time work tied to something they genuinely enjoy, whether that's a golf club, a bookstore, or a garden center. If anything I've covered so far raises questions about your own situation, give us a call at 8669-733627 or visit us online at mandawealth.com. Scheduling a consultation is easy, and we're always happy to work around your schedule. Step 5 is to reevaluate your Social Security strategy. If you already have a claiming plan, a layoff may force you to take a fresh look at it, and what's at stake here is significant. Claiming at 62 could mean a permanent reduction in your monthly benefit. That cut doesn't go away, It follows you for the rest of your life and affects survivor benefits as well. Full retirement age for anyone born in 1960 or later is 67. For every year you wait past that, up to age 70, your benefit grows by around 8%. Think about what that can mean over 20 or 25 years of retirement. Those decisions can significantly impact the total benefits that you may receive over time. It's worth understanding the math before making a permanent choice. That said, sometimes early claiming is the right call because it's the only call. But the goal is to make that decision with full awareness of what you're trading, not out of panic. Step 6 is to connect with your network. Reach out to old colleagues, former managers, people you worked with years ago who might now be in a position to make a referral or know about an opening. Let people know you're available. Something often turns up through a conversation you almost didn't have. And make sure your LinkedIn profile is current. Think of it as your digital handshake. A lot of hiring happens through networks rather than job postings, and being invisible online is already a disadvantage. Step 7 is to rethink how you approach interviews. One of the things that can quietly work against older job seekers is walking into an interview leading with nostalgia. Talking about how you remember when the industry was different or how things used to work. The employer may hear that as someone who's stuck in the past. Show that you're current instead. Know what's happening in your field right now. Know something specific about that company, their recent news, their priorities, what they're working on. Deep experience plus current relevance is a compelling combination, but you have to present it intentionally. The employers worth working for are looking at what you bring. Lead with that. Step 8 is to call in your friends. Don't try to navigate all of this alone. Talk to people. Let them in on what you're going through. You may be surprised how many people have been through something similar or know someone who has. A layoff at this stage feels very isolating in the moment, but it's far more common than it appears from the inside. When you're exhausted from carrying that quietly, your judgment suffers at exactly the wrong time. Leaning on your support system isn't weakness, that's wisdom. Step 9 might be the most counterintuitive one on the list. Savor some downtime. If you have savings or a severance package that gives you any financial breathing room, use that space deliberately. Give yourself permission to breathe. Take stock of what this next chapter actually looks like for you. What do you want? Not just what's available, but what do you actually want? Some of the best retirement decisions come out of a quiet stretch where people finally have space to ask that question honestly. A layoff, as hard as it is, can create that space. Here's how all of this connects to the financial side. Almost every one of these 9 steps has a financial dimension, and the decisions people make in the first few months after a layoff can have consequences that last for decades. When to tap retirement accounts, whether to claim Social Security early, how to manage cash flow without locking yourself into something you can't undo. These aren't decisions anyone should be making without a clear picture and a trusted professional in their corner. And when the financial side of things is in good hands, it frees you up to focus on everything else: your network, your next chapter, your well-being. The goal is to help people move from anxiety to clarity. That shift changes everything. If any of this resonates with what you're going through right now, or you just want to make sure your plan is solid enough to hold up if something unexpected happens, we'd love to hear from you. Visit my website at mnawealth.com or call my office at 866-973-3627 to discuss how my team might be able to answer your questions and address your concerns. It's our goal to help you prepare for the retirement you've worked so hard for.
Disclosure. All matters discussed during the show are for informational purposes only. Opinions expressed are solely those of M&A Wealth and staff. All topics covered are believed to be from reliable sources. However, M&A Wealth makes no representations as to its accuracy or completeness. This commercial shall in no way be construed as a solicitation to sell securities or advisory services to residents where permitted. Topics should be discussed with your individual advisor prior to implementation. Advisory services offered through M&A Wealth, a registered investment advisor in the state of Texas. Insurance products and services are offered through PNC Life Insurance Agency, an affiliated company. M&A Wealth and PNC Life Insurance Agency are not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency.